The forgotten observers. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the viewport, cold and indifferent to the struggles of those who traveled between them. Commander Elena Vasquez stood with her arms crossed, watching the debris field drift past her ship like ghosts of a forgotten war. The wreckage was ancient, at least 3,000 years old according to the scans. Twisted metal fragments floated in the darkness, some pieces larger than her entire vessel. Elena was 41 years old, with dark hair tied back in a practical bun, and eyes that had seen too many diplomatic failures. She had spent 15 years in the Earth Space Service, and most of that time had been spent watching aliens treat humanity like children. The Pathfinder was her command, a research vessel designed to study ancient battlefields and forgotten technologies. It was not a warship. Humanity did not build warships that could match the great powers of the Galactic Assembly. Behind her, Dr. Marcus Chen worked at his station, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. Marcus was 35, brilliant and perpetually curious. His specialty was xenoarchaeology, the study of alien civilizations long dead. He had joined Elena's crew 3 years ago, and his enthusiasm had never faded. "Commander," Marcus said, his voice carrying excitement, "these energy signatures are incredible. Whatever destroyed these ships used weapons we have never encountered before. The molecular structure of the metal has been altered at a quantum level." Elena turned to face him. "Can you identify which species built these vessels?" Marcus shook his head. "That is the strange part. The design elements match several different civilizations, Kryn, Veltari, even some human-like architecture. It is as if multiple races fought together here." "An alliance," Elena murmured. "Against what?" Before Marcus could answer, their communications officer, Lieutenant James Okafor, spoke up. James was 28, calm under pressure, and one of the best signal analysts in the fleet. "Commander, I am picking up a distress beacon. It is faint but definitely active, broadcasting on Kryn military frequencies." Elena moved to his station. "The Kryn Empire? They have not operated in this sector for decades. How old is the signal?" James frowned at his screen. "That is what is strange, ma'am. The signal was activated 6 hours ago." A chill ran down Elena's spine. The Kryn were one of the most powerful species in the galaxy, masters of gravitational technology and energy manipulation. Their empire spanned 40 star systems. If they were sending distress signals, something terrible had happened. "Plot a course to the signal source," Elena ordered. "Maximum speed." The Pathfinder turned gracefully through space, its engines pushing the ship toward the coordinates. They traveled for 2 hours, leaving the ancient debris field behind. The crew worked in tense silence. Everyone knew that answering a Kryn distress call could be dangerous. The Kryn rarely asked for help, and when they did, it meant the situation was desperate. When they arrived, what they found made Elena's blood run cold. A Kryn battle station floated ahead, massive and dark. It was shaped like a 3-pointed star, each arm stretching for 5 kilometers. Normally, such stations glowed with power, their shields creating a visible shimmer around the structure. This one was dead. Entire sections had been torn open. Fires still burned in some compartments, visible through the breaches in the hull. "Scan for survivors," Elena commanded. Marcus worked his controls. "I am detecting life signs. Maybe 200 individuals scattered throughout the station. The main power core is offline. Life support is failing." "What could do this to a Kryn station?" James whispered. Elena had no answer. The Kryn built their stations to withstand attacks from entire fleets. She had seen their defensive demonstrations during assembly gatherings. Nothing should have been able to damage a station this badly. "Commander," Marcus said urgently, "I am detecting movement. Multiple contacts approaching fast from the far side of the station." The view screen shifted to show what was coming. Elena felt her stomach tighten. Ships emerged from behind the crippled station, dozens of them. They were unlike anything she had ever seen. Their hulls were black and organic-looking, covered in what appeared to be living tissue. Tendrils of dark energy writhed around them like serpents. The ships moved with an unnatural fluidity, as if they were swimming through space rather than flying. "What are those?" James asked. "The Void Swarm," Marcus breathed. "I have read about them in ancient texts. A species that consumes entire civilizations. They were supposed to be extinct, destroyed 10,000 years ago." Elena watched as the Void Swarm ships descended on the Kryn station. They did not fire conventional weapons. Instead, dark energy lashed out from their hulls, wrapping around the station's structure. Where the energy touched, metal dissolved. The Kryn station was being eaten alive. "Get us out of here," Elena ordered. "Now." But before the Pathfinder could turn away, one of the Void swarm ships detected them. It broke formation and rushed toward them with frightening speed. "Evasive maneuvers," Elena shouted. The Pathfinder turned hard, its engines straining. The Void ship followed, faster and more agile. Dark energy shot out, barely missing their hull. James worked frantically at his station, trying to boost their shields. "Shields are at 60% and dropping," he called out. "That energy is draining our power systems." Elena's mind raced. They could not outrun these ships. They could not fight them. The Pathfinder had only basic defensive weapons, nothing that could damage an enemy like this. They were going to die. Then Marcus shouted, "Commander, I am detecting something strange. There is a massive energy signature nearby, hidden inside an asteroid cluster. It is similar to human technology, but far more powerful than anything in our databases." Elena made her decision in seconds. "Take us into that asteroid field." "Full speed. That is suicide," James protested. "The asteroids will give us cover. Do it." The Pathfinder dove into the asteroid cluster. Rocks tumbled past them, some missing their hull by meters. The pilot, Lieutenant Sarah Martinez, flew with skill born from years of experience. She was 32, steady-handed, and had saved their lives more times than Elena could count. The Void ship followed them into the asteroids but moved more cautiously. Its organic hull could be damaged by impacts. That caution gave them precious seconds. "There," Marcus pointed at his screen. "Inside that hollowed asteroid. The energy signature is coming from there." Sarah guided the ship toward the asteroid. As they approached, a massive opening appeared in the rock face, perfectly circular and clearly artificial. The Pathfinder flew inside. What they found took everyone's breath away. Hidden within the asteroid was a facility, a human facility. It was enormous, carved into the rock itself. Construction equipment floated in the zero gravity. Supply containers were stacked along the walls. And in the center, held in a massive dock, was a ship. Elena stared at it in disbelief. The ship was gigantic, at least 10 kilometers from bow to stern. Its hull was smooth and dark, covered in armor plating that seemed to absorb light. Strange symbols glowed along its surface, pulsing with inner power. Weapon systems lined its sides, massive cannons and energy projectors that looked nothing like standard human technology. "What is that?" Sarah whispered. Marcus was already scanning it. His face went pale as he read the results. "Commander, that ship is registering as human. Its systems are active, and its power output is beyond anything I have ever measured. This single vessel produces more energy than Earth's entire planetary defense grid." Elena felt the world shifting beneath her feet. "How is this possible?" "Earth does not have technology like this. The assembly would know." A voice suddenly filled their bridge, calm and feminine. "Welcome, Commander Vasquez. I have been waiting for someone to find this facility. My designation is Area. I am the operational intelligence of the Earth defense ship Prometheus Dawn. This facility has been operational for 180 years. James nearly fell out of his chair. 180 years? That is impossible. "It is not impossible, Lieutenant Okafor," Arya replied. "It is classified. When Earth joined the Galactic Assembly 2 centuries ago, your government realized the truth quickly. The Assembly did not want partners. They wanted subjects. They shared basic technology, but kept their greatest advances hidden. When Earth requested medical technology to cure diseases, they were denied. When Earth proposed joint research, they were refused." The holographic image of a woman appeared on their bridge. She wore what looked like a military uniform and had kind eyes. So Earth began the Ascension Project. Secret facilities were built across the solar system and beyond. Scientists worked in hidden laboratories. They studied alien technology acquired through trade, espionage, and salvage operations. But they did not simply copy what they found. They improved it. They innovated. They combined concepts from dozens of alien species with human creativity. Marcus stood slowly. "You are saying Earth has been lying to the galaxy for 2 centuries? "Earth has been protecting humanity," Arya corrected gently. "If the Assembly knew your true capabilities, they would see you as a threat. They would move to destroy you before you became too powerful. So Earth played a role. Your leaders appeared weak. Your military lost exercises intentionally. You showed only outdated technology to Assembly observers. all while building ships like the Prometheus Dawn in secret. Elena moved closer to the hologram. How many ships like this exist? 8 are under construction in hidden facilities. The Prometheus Dawn is the first to reach operational status. I was created to be humanity's shield. If Earth ever faces extinction, I am authorized to act without government approval. Outside the asteroid, the Void Swarm ship had found them. It approached the opening, its dark energy crackling with hunger. "Commander," Arya said, her voice taking on urgency. "That vessel is a Void Swarm hunter. They are an ancient enemy that nearly destroyed all galactic civilizations 10,000 years ago. The Assembly has forgotten them, but Earth has not. Our historians found records in dead civilizations. We knew they might return someday. The Prometheus Dawn was designed specifically to fight threats the Assembly cannot handle." Elena looked at her crew. They stared back at her with wide eyes. She knew what she had to do, even if it changed everything. "Arya," Elena said firmly. "Can you stop that ship?" The hologram smiled. "Commander, I was built to stop entire fleets. One ship is not a challenge. However, activating my systems will reveal humanity's secret to the galaxy. The Assembly will know Earth has been hiding advanced technology. There will be political consequences. People are dying on that Kryn station," Elena replied. "Activate your systems." Lights blazed across the Prometheus Dawn. The massive ship began to move, pulling away from its dock with impossible grace for something so large. Weapon systems charged with a rising hum that Elena could feel in her bones. "Engaging target," Arya announced. The Prometheus Dawn emerged from the asteroid like a rising giant. The Void Swarm ship turned to face it, dark energy gathering around its hull. For a moment, both vessels hung in space, sizing each other up. Then the Prometheus Dawn opened fire. The awakening storm. The battle began with light. The Prometheus Dawn fired its primary weapons, and space itself seemed to tear open. Beams of pure white energy lanced out from the massive cannons, moving faster than anything Elena had ever seen. The Void Swarm ship tried to evade, its organic hull twisting in impossible directions, but the beams followed it. They curved through space like living things, adjusting their trajectory mid-flight. The first beam struck the Void ship's hull. Instead of exploding, the dark organic matter simply ceased to exist. A perfectly circular hole appeared in the ship's side, edges glowing with residual energy. The second beam punched through the vessel's core. The Void ship shuddered, its dark energy flickering and dying. Within seconds, the once terrifying hunter was nothing more than drifting debris. "Direct hit confirmed," Arya reported calmly. "Target neutralized. Scanning for additional threats." Elena stared at the view screen in shock. The entire engagement had lasted less than 10 seconds. One shot, one kill. The Void Swarm ship had torn through a Kryn battle station like it was paper, but against the Prometheus Dawn, it had been helpless. Marcus was frantically recording data at his station. "Commander, those weapons used graviton acceleration combined with quantum disruptors. The technology behind this is at least 300 years beyond anything the Assembly has publicly demonstrated. How did Earth develop this?" "I can explain," Arya said. Her holographic form appeared beside Elena on the bridge. "The weapons you witnessed are called Helios Lances. They were developed by combining Valtari energy manipulation, Kryn gravitational technology, and human quantum field theory. No single alien species shared all these technologies with Earth. Your scientists had to steal some, trade for others, and reverse engineer the rest. Then they spent 80 years perfecting the combination." James looked up from his communications console. "Commander, I am receiving multiple transmissions. The Galactic Assembly monitoring station in this sector detected the weapons fire. They are demanding to know what happened. And the remaining Void Swarm ships are moving toward us. I count 47 vessels all breaking off their attack on the Kryn station." Elena felt her heart hammering. 47 ships. Even with the Prometheus Dawn's power, those were terrible odds. "Arya, can we win against that many?" The hologram smiled. It was not a friendly expression. Commander Vasquez, the Prometheus Dawn was designed to fight battles that would make the Assembly's admirals weep. 47 ships is not a fleet. It is target practice. Incoming! Sarah shouted from the pilot station. The Void Swarm ships emerged from behind the crippled Kryn station in a dark wave. They moved in perfect coordination, spreading out to surround the Prometheus Dawn. Energy crackled between them, building into a web of destructive power. Elena had studied military tactics her entire career. She recognized this formation. The Void ships were creating a containment field, trapping their target so it could not escape while they tore it apart. They are attempting to envelop us, Arya observed. Standard Void Swarm pack hunting behavior. They assume we will try to flee. They are wrong. The Prometheus Dawn accelerated forward, directly toward the center of the Void formation. It did not try to evade or retreat. It charged straight into the enemy like a spear thrust through flesh. Arya, what are you doing? Elena demanded. Demonstrating human innovation, Commander. The Void ships fired as one. 47 streams of dark energy converged on the Prometheus Dawn. The bridge view screen showed the attack coming, a tsunami of destructive force that should have vaporized any vessel. Then the Prometheus Dawn's shields activated. Elena had seen shields before. Every spacefaring species used them. They were energy barriers that absorbed or deflected weapons fire. But what appeared around the Prometheus Dawn was something different entirely. A sphere of shimmering light materialized around the massive ship. It looked like a soap bubble, rainbow colors dancing across its surface. When the Void Swarm's dark energy hit the shield, it did not penetrate. It did not even drain the shield's power. Instead, the dark energy was absorbed, pulled into the shield itself, and then something incredible happened. The shield fired back. 47 beams of white light shot out from the Prometheus Dawn's protective barrier, each one targeting a different Void ship. The beams were made from the same dark energy the Void Swarm had fired, but Arya had converted it, transformed it into something pure and deadly. The Void ships tried to dodge, but they were too close, moving too fast. The converted energy struck them one after another. Explosions blossomed across the battlefield like deadly flowers. Void ships came apart, their organic hulls unable to withstand attacks made from their own weapons. In less than 15 seconds, 23 enemy vessels were destroyed. The remaining 24 broke formation and scattered, their pack-hunting instincts shattered by fear. Adaptive resonance shields, Arya explained as if discussing the weather. They analyze incoming attacks, absorb the energy, and redirect it back at attackers. Dr. Yuki Tanaka developed the base theory 60 years ago. It took 3 decades to make it practical. The Assembly still uses static shield technology. They have no defense against adaptive systems. Marcus was shaking his head in disbelief. This changes everything. If Earth has ships like this, we are not the weakest species in the galaxy. We might be the strongest. Not might be, Arya corrected. The Prometheus Dawn alone could defeat the combined military forces of 12 Assembly member species, and there are 7 more ships under construction. Earth has been preparing for 2 centuries. You are ready to take your place among the great powers. The remaining Void Swarm ships regrouped in the distance. They were more cautious now, circling like wounded predators. Elena could see them on the tactical display, trying to find a weakness in the Prometheus Dawn's defenses. They would find none. Arya, end this, Elena commanded. As you wish, Commander. The Prometheus Dawn moved with sudden, shocking speed. One moment it was stationary, the next it was accelerating to velocities that should have been impossible for something so large. The ship crossed 50,000 kilometers in seconds, appearing in the middle of the scattered Void formation. New weapons activated. Along the Prometheus Dawn's hull, hundreds of smaller ports opened. Drones poured out, thousands of them, each one the size of a fighter craft. But these were not piloted vessels. They were autonomous weapons controlled by Arya's vast intelligence. They swarmed around the Void ships like angry hornets. Each drone carried miniaturized versions of the Helios lances. They fired in coordinated patterns, targeting weak points in the organic hulls. The Void ships tried to fight back, but they were overwhelmed. Their dark energy weapons could not track the fast-moving drones. Within minutes, the last of the Void Swarm ships was destroyed. Silence fell across the battlefield. The Pathfinder's crew stood on their bridge, stunned by what they had witnessed. Elena realized she was gripping the edge of her command chair so hard her knuckles were white. All hostile targets eliminated, Area reported. Casualties, 0. Damage to the Prometheus Dawn, 0. Mission time, 8 minutes, 43 seconds. James spoke quietly. Commander, I am receiving transmissions from across the sector. The assembly monitoring stations recorded everything. There are urgent communications coming from the Kryn Empire, the Valtari Collective, even the Assembly Council itself. They are demanding explanations. Elena took a deep breath. She knew what came next would be difficult. Earth's secret was revealed. The entire galaxy now knew that humanity had been hiding its true strength for 2 centuries. Some species would be angry. Others would be afraid. Many would feel betrayed. Aria, open a channel to Assembly Command. It is time Earth stopped pretending. The hologram nodded. A moment later, the view screen shifted to show a communication chamber. Dozens of alien faces stared back at Elena. She recognized some of them. Admiral Thex of the Kryn Empire, his crystalline features sharp with anger. Ambassador Vorin of the Valtari, her energy form flickering with agitation. High Chancellor Moros of the Assembly Council, his 3 eyes narrowed with suspicion. Commander Vasquez. Chancellor Moros spoke, his voice cold. You will explain what we have just witnessed. That vessel used technology far beyond anything humanity has demonstrated. Where did you acquire such weapons? Elena stood straight, meeting the Chancellor's gaze without flinching. We built them. Earth has been advancing in secret for 200 years. The ship you saw is the Prometheus Dawn, the first of a new generation of human warships. The communication chamber erupted in chaos. Aliens shouted in a dozen languages. Accusations flew. Elena caught words like deception and threat and violation of assembly protocols. Admiral Thex's voice cut through the noise like a blade. You dare. The assembly shared technology with humanity in good faith. You used that knowledge to build weapons in secret. You shared scraps, Elena replied firmly. When we asked for medical technology, you refused. When we proposed joint research, you denied us. The assembly has treated humanity like primitive children for 2 centuries. We decided to grow up on our own. Ambassador Vorin's energy form pulsed with anger. You have upset the balance of power. There will be consequences for this deception. Before Elena could respond, Aria's hologram appeared in the communication feed. Every alien in the chamber fell silent, staring at the artificial intelligence. With respect, Ambassador, Aria said calmly, humanity owes the assembly nothing. You created a system where the strong dominate the weak, where technology is hoarded instead of shared, where species like the Void Swarm can return from extinction, and no one is prepared to fight them. Earth watched this system fail for 200 years. We decided not to rely on it. Chancellor Moros leaned forward. That ship is a threat to galactic peace. The Assembly Council demands you surrender it for inspection. No, Elena said simply. You refuse a direct order from the Council? I do. The Prometheus Dawn is Earth property, built in Earth facilities with Earth resources. You have no authority over it. The Chancellor's face darkened. Then humanity has chosen to become an enemy of the Assembly. We have chosen to become equals, Elena corrected. Earth is no longer asking for permission to defend itself. We are no longer accepting your restrictions on our technology. We are no longer playing the role of the weak, grateful species that should be thankful for scraps from your table. Aria stepped forward in the hologram. The Assembly should understand something clearly. The Prometheus Dawn is not unique. 7 more ships of similar capability are nearing completion. Earth has defensive installations across our solar system that use the same advanced technology. And we have weapons research programs that are decades ahead of anything the Council has. You can choose to accept humanity as equals, or you can choose conflict. But understand this, if you choose conflict, you will lose. The communication chamber fell into stunned silence. No species had ever spoken to the Assembly Council this way. The system had lasted for 10,000 years precisely because everyone accepted their place in the hierarchy. Earth was shattering that hierarchy. Admiral Thex spoke, his voice thoughtful now instead of angry. You saved Kryn lives today. My station would have been completely destroyed by the Void Swarm. For that, the Kryn Empire is grateful. Perhaps Earth has earned the right to stand as equals. Other voices rose in agreement. Not all of them, but enough. Some species were impressed by humanity's strength. Others were grateful that someone had stopped the void threat. A few remained hostile, but they were outnumbered. Chancellor Morrow stared at Elena for a long moment. This matter is not finished, Commander Vasquez, but the Council will consider Earth's new status. For now, you are ordered to remain in this sector until a formal diplomatic delegation arrives. The transmission ended. Elena let out a breath she had not realized she was holding. Her entire body felt shaky with adrenaline. Marcus turned to face her. Commander, we just changed galactic history. No, Elena said quietly, looking at the Prometheus dawn on her view screen. Earth changed galactic history 200 years ago. We just revealed it today. Arya's hologram smiled. Welcome to humanity's new era, Commander. You are no longer observers. You are no longer the weak species that others ignore. Today, the galaxy learned what humans can accomplish when they refuse to accept limitations. Today, you became what you were always meant to be, a force that cannot be ignored. Through the view screen, Elena watched as more human ships emerged from hidden facilities across the sector. Cruisers, destroyers, carriers, all built with technology the galaxy thought impossible. They gathered around the Prometheus dawn like children around their parent. A fleet that had been hidden for generations now revealed in all its terrible glory. Earth had played the long game. Earth had pretended to be weak while becoming strong. Earth had prepared for the day when the galaxy would finally see humanity as equals instead of subjects. That day had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same.